everybody wants to get united. Like, what we gotta do is meet everybody on 149th Street at the bench.
Recently, I was asked a question that kind of it took a weird turn I didn't expect. So I was asked, how do I become a graffiti artist? And I thought the answer was pretty easy. I was like, well, I don't know, you do graffiti. Seems pretty straightforward. I think really what they're asking is, how do I start tagging, or how do I start being a writer? Because becoming a graffiti artist is easy. It's no different than doing anything else, right? Like, sure, taking a photograph with my phone, I'm not necessarily a photographer for doing that, but if I dedicate time and effort in order to actually practice the craft and learn it, well then yeah, I'm a photographer even if I might be an amateur. And it's no different for graffiti. But then it got me thinking, what is too young of an age to do graffiti? Now this is especially close to home for me because I started doing graffiti when I was in the 3rd grade. Let me know how you guys got started in graffiti and when you guys got started graffiti in the comments down below. But guys, before we delve into today's video, I want to let you guys know we have a free digital sketchbook that you can download. If you want to get it, all you gotta do is head down to the description, sign up for the email list on my site, and you'll receive an email immediately that allows you to download the free digital sketchbook. This is like our community traveling sketchbook, so you guys get to actually share and submit your work with the artist block, and I'll be sending you guys updated sketchbook tours through an email list. It's a nice way for the community to kind of get together and contribute to something. It's really cool stuff. So I got a link to that in the description down below. Feel free to go ahead and check it out. Alright, so when it comes to this topic, here's the weird thing. Usually when people are asking, how do I start tagging? How do I become a writer? It's normally a real young kid asking these questions because a grown adult doesn't need to ask these questions. A grown adult has the mental capacity to either decide for themselves to do it or not to do it. And that's why this question popped into my head, because I'm sitting there and it's weird. It's weird when you see like a 12-year-old asking you, hey, how do I break the law, man? I want to go ahead and break the law. It's like, I'm sitting there, I'm like, no, don't do it, man. To give a definitive answer as to what is too young to be doing graffiti, I honestly feel like if you just want to do graffiti, then do it at whatever age you want. Like if you're a parent and you have a 5-year-old and they want to start doing graffiti, let them do graffiti. Now understand, I'm being very specific with my words here. What I mean by this is let them do graffiti as an art form like any other. The same way that they might draw pictures of their favorite superheroes, so on and so forth. Drawing letters is perfectly fine and harmless. And it's a really fun way to express, you know, and just enjoy art in general. If you just want to play around with something that has instant gratification, then graffiti's great for that. As far as being a writer and what's too young to do that, I would definitely say doing it at 12 years old is far too young to be a writer. Now a lot of people have this idea that, oh, if I do it before I'm 18 and I get arrested, then the consequences aren't so bad. I'll get a slap on the wrist, sent on my way, and that is not true at all. This does vary based on where you're from and where you live, sure, as some places have much stricter laws than others, but if that's your best fallback plan, then that's not really a plan, and it's a terrible one at that. I would honestly say, if you're so pressed to do graffiti, wait till you can do it on your own terms and you're the only one suffering for your own actions. And what I mean by that is, mommy and daddy don't have to bail you out of jail. Now, I never recommend anybody do graffiti illegally. Any experienced, mature-minded graffiti artist will tell you the same. I also think another aspect to this conversation, because I mean, when I first started doing graffiti, I didn't feel like I needed anybody's approval. But nowadays, in the age of social media, everything's about gratification and feeling like you've been approved by something to do something. People feel the need to not only do graffiti, but then post that graffiti. And then they look for people to validate the graffiti that they've done. And the younger you are, the more dangerous that whole thing becomes. Not only is it a terrible idea to commit any crime and then go ahead and take a photograph of it and record it and then put it on your social media, that has never made sense to me. But the younger you are, the more inclined you are to do something like that. Not to mention the fact the younger you are, likely the more close to home you're going to be hitting, and as a result of that, the easier it is going to be in order to kind of pinpoint where those photographs are being taken. So a young kid, even in like 17, 18, is very likely to get caught. And this is exactly why I say what I said. Do graffiti when you're the only one suffering the consequences of your actions. Because every graffiti artist gets caught if you do it long enough. It's bound to happen. And if you haven't come to terms with that yet, then you're too young. I don't care what your age is, you could be 25, but if you have not come to terms with the fact that your actions have consequences, then not old enough to be doing it. But dudes, that pretty much wraps up today's video. I really want to hear you guys' thoughts about this in the comments down below, because I know a lot of you guys, like me, got to start when you were really, really young. I mean, that happens for most graffiti artists. That's the general demographic. So let me know your stories in the comments down below. Now check this out. If you guys have been struggling to learn graffiti, if you've kind of been stuck with the same style, say you're more experienced, then pick up our brand new book we just released, The Ultimate Graffiti Guidebook. You'll find it in the description down below. It covers all of graffiti's fundamentals, so if you're a toy looking to get out of the toy phase, or you're a more experienced graffiti artist looking to switch up your your styles, then check the book out in the description down below. And if you want to check out the best how to do graffiti tutorials anywhere online, we have the playlist for you right up here with more graffiti content right down here. And I'll catch you guys back here next week. Thanks for watching.